Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I just wanted to talk about this atrocious mistake called the Uncharted movie, which will soon be hitting theaters. Directed by Ruben Fleischer, written by Art Markham, Matt Holloway, and Rafe Judkins. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing those names. Now I could go on about this movie and use some words that would probably get me banned on YouTube or something, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be as civilized as possible about this. Now, I've been playing the Uncharted games all the way up from the first one, and I can't begin to explain the level of bond that I developed for this game, as many of you have, I'm sure. It's such a beloved franchise, and I think it should have been given more care when it came to the movie, and I just feel like this movie is just another cash grab. It's just put together, it's just cobbled together with whatever they could find and whatever is popular, and that's it. They're trying to just money grab out of it. I'm pretty sure it's going to disappoint a lot of core fans. I'll get to why I feel that way. So I want to get started on this with the cast, because throughout this video, you will probably realize that my biggest problem with this movie is the cast. Hands down, no questions asked, the cast is a terrible, terrible decision. And I don't need to see the trailer to know how bad this movie is going to go. That's my opinion, but I'm telling you. Mark Wahlberg as Sully and Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. Why? You could possibly pass off Tom Holland as a younger Drake. Possibly. But Mark Wahlberg as Sully? I mean, if you look at the trailer, Mark Wahlberg isn't playing Sully. He's playing Mark Wahlberg. He's playing the same damn character he played in The Happening or he played in Transformers. He's not playing Sully. He's trying, but he's failing. And above all, the worst thing I found about his character in this movie is his mustache. Where is Sully's signature mustache? Why would you take away? I never thought a mustache could bother, or lack thereof, could bother me so much. You can't get the main characters right. The characters of this game, the main character Sully, the bond between them, the interactions between them is what defined Uncharted for me. Not only all that parkour stuff that you were doing, but you could find parkour in many games at the time, but it's just the dynamic between these two characters that define the game for me. And if you can't get the cast right for them, well then, I really don't have a lot of hope for this movie. I want to dig a little deeper into this cast for these two main characters. Let's talk about Tom. Tom Holland playing Nathan Drake. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, they're going into the origin story and he's playing the younger Nathan Drake, which I suppose he is. And he looks younger, and I can see why they would choose Tom, probably because, of all the Spider-Man stuff he's done, and he can pull off all those parkour moves and whatnot. But it's a bit confusing looking at the trailer. If you have played the game, which I'm supposing you have, that's why you're watching this video, well then you'll know that in Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, we get to play as a younger Nathan Drake. He's pretty young. He's not carrying guns around with him, and he's not going around the world breaking into tombs and all that. He's just doing small little stuff like stealing and stuff like that. That's when he meets Sully, a younger version of Sully, who, by the way, has a damn mustache, even as a young Sully. So I don't get, when you look at this trailer, why is he carrying around guns like he does in the game when he's older, when he's an adult? I don't get it. It's like these guys he's directed didn't understand what the hell they're dealing with. They just jumble the two together, and I don't know what they're undecided on what they're going for. Are you doing an origin story, or are you doing the main story where he's all grown up? Oh god, it's terrible. So let's get into this trailer. It opens up as a typical Tomb Raider-ish kind of movie, nothing we've not seen in former treasure hunt movies, and it just bombards you with all these scenes, of it's just the typical crap. Tom Holland has a little flame in his hand in a cave somewhere, then he's looking at a map, and then you have him jumping off a plane, then you have Mark Wahlberg or Sully looking over his shoulder, like it, and all supported by this really loud music just to get you pumped up, you know what I mean? So they're trying their level best to reel in all the actual players of the game in the first few seconds by showing you a clip of him jumping off the plane and finding this wrecked ship from the 1800s. And those who played the actual games will realize what I just said. That jumping off the plane is from, you guessed it, Uncharted 3. That finding that ship, you guessed it, from flipping Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. What are these guys doing? They are jumbling the entire story into one movie, I swear to God. They've probably done it, but I don't know where this movie is going. Then you get a shot of Nathan and Chloe, or the lady who plays Chloe, Sophia Ali. And straight away when you get the main characters wrong, I'm not surprised that you got Chloe wrong. Even side characters like Chloe were so instrumental to the story, and they were so, you grew attached to them. They weren't just this side note. My own problem with her is that she doesn't look like Chloe. She may actually possess a bit of the mannerisms that Chloe has, but she doesn't look like it. They just went out and found, the ethnicity that she played as, and then that they just slapped it together. So in this shot, they basically changed the entire origin story. I don't understand why. Here they show it as if Nathan Drake met Sully in some bar in the big city, and they have this little banter, and that's it. They're both smart asses, and that's a great deviation from the actual story in the game, because the way I remember it from the game was that Nathan bumped into Sully in the streets as a kid, and that's where Sully took him in and taught him all, his way around the ropes and whatnot. But here, obviously, why not? I bet they're gonna come out with this reason when they do get that backlash. They're gonna be like, "Oh, it's our interpretation or our version of the story." You screwed it up. And then the next few shots, you have this classic rock number just playing in the background, which is cool and all, but it doesn't help to divert my attention from the atrocious, sad depiction of Sully. Sully is like my biggest problem. Mark is not playing Sully. Mark is playing Mark. Just go look at the trailer. And just look at this part of the trailer and tell me he's not playing Mark from the other movies that he's ever played. Just tell me. Other than when he was younger in the 90s or 80s. But he's playing Mark from the last 10 years of movies that he's done. So in this part of the trailer, we get introduced to Chloe again, or properly, I should say. And again, I don't have no problem with the way she's being presented here, like as in vocally, but she looks nothing like Chloe to me. Just getting the right ethnicity, just getting the ethnicity right doesn't mean that that's Chloe. It's so trivial, but her hair, the way she's dressed, everything, it just doesn't. I couldn't tell that's Chloe if she hadn't, been focused on in this trailer. I wouldn't be. And the other thing is, I get it. Some movies, they may interpret the character differently because, some games or some animated movies the characters are so unbelievable that you have to kind of make them believable, so they make it realistic and they tone them down. But there was no need here. This isn't some war in space. This is just a simple character that you could just simply replicate in real life. She didn't wear some outrageous clothing or something like that, like, something. She didn't have like glowing orbs around her that you had to replicate. Just a human being in the game. You could have simply copied that same style so it could be relatable to. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but yes. And now we get introduced to the main villain, no doubt, Antonio Banderas. Who this guy is, no idea. Just some random main villain that we will obviously see, and no mention of what or who he is. Again, a new character, completely new character. Why? I don't know. You had plenty of good characters to choose from, villains to choose from the game. Why him? I don't understand. Yeah, he looks charismatic, and I feel like Antonio Banderas may save this movie a little bit, but I'm not getting my hopes up that far. So we have in this shot this lady called Braddock in the movie, played by Tati Gabrielle. You could change your name or do whatever you want, but do you know who she's playing? Take a wild guess. Nadine Ross. Tell me that's not Nadine Ross, the Enforcer from Uncharted 4, and she's also the Enforcer in this game, so I'm not surprised. Why change the name? Just, you know what? Moving on. And now we get to the cream of the crop, the icing on the cake in this trailer. They simply copy-pasted that iconic scene from Uncharted 3 where you get launched out of a plane with all these crates and this debris just flying, just attached to the back end of the plane, and you're trapped. Your foot is just stuck in there. Nathan's foot is just stuck in there, and you're just unconscious, and you wake up and you're dangling from the plane. And then you have, it's an iconic part of the game, and they literally just copy pasted that. Other than the fact that the backdrop isn't a desert anymore, it's some kind of, you're over the ocean somewhere in a tropical area. And they're just jumbling things up together. It's just so lazy. Either you have a completely new story and you have something very creative. You know what? I don't mind deviations from the original story, but at least add something of your own to it. Be creative with what you're doing. No, they're just picking bits and pieces. They're being lazy. They're just picking off things that they think is great, and then they add nothing to it, and then just downtoning or bringing the rest of the parts of the movie down. And that's about it. That's about all of the trailer. And I just can't put in words how disappointed I am. Just at least, if you want to change the story, at least get the characters right, or at least get one character right, at least get the main character right. Get Nathan Drake right. He doesn't have that. I love the way he looked. Like he was an adult. He was a grown adult, but he had a charm to him. He had that boyish charm to him. He wasn't an actual boy. He had a boyish charm. It was fun playing him. It was fun listening to him. He had a light kind of personality to him. He wasn't an actual kid. Now I can't see the same Nathan Drake. And what are they going to do? If, let's say, they're going to do a sequel, what are they going to do? Are they going to get rid of Tom Holland? Because he's missing. Nathan Drake is missing his grit. Sully is missing his grit. Not only is he missing his mustache, and it's nothing to do with the mustache, he's just missing the grit Sully had in the game. He doesn't speak like him, doesn't talk like him. Get the main characters right, goddammit. Anyway, this is me signing off, but before I go, I wanted to share a little nugget with you. Guess what? Antonio Banderas says character doesn't have a name. I shit you not. Just go to IMDb, and I looked it up. Antonio Banderas doesn't have a character name yet. So that even this lady here is shown as Spanish woman, but Antonio Banderas, the main villain, doesn't have a name. Have a great night, morning, day, and until next time, justice for Sully's mustache. Peace out.